I want to take a look at the real opposition to Donald Trump. You know, yesterday we had the election. The Democrat, they poured $8.3 million into his election. And after the fact, as the Republicans saw how much money was being focused on there, they had Hollywood going there, of course, but they had people who were outside of Georgia traveling there to work as volunteers. They were focusing everything there, trying to get a win for the Democrats, and they failed. They were hoping that they could get him past the 50% mark in a district that, although highly Republican, had the Republicans divided amongst, I think it was 11 different candidates or something like that for the Republicans. He didn't make it. And so that is something that really sets them back. But you have to understand the Democrats are really a broken party. They're really a broken party. They haven't found their voice. The people who are going to block the Trump agenda are the people in the House and the Congress and the administrative state, the bureaucracy, and the advisors that have been put around Donald Trump, some of whom he's selected, some who've been pushed upon him by Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Those people inside the White House, those people at the House and in Congress who are Republicans, nominally Republicans, they're the ones who are going to block his agenda more than the Democrats. They have more than enough people who are nominal Republicans that if they wanted to sign on to the agenda that the Republican voters have repeatedly said they want in terms of protecting the borders, repealing Obamacare, giving us tax reform, staying out of foreign wars. If they wanted to do that, they could do it. But the Republican establishment is going to fight back on it. A good example of this is Jerome Corsi's article today at Infowars.com. The GOP senator gets rich by blocking Obamacare repeals. And he's talked a couple of times about Tennessee Republican Senator Bob Corker. And he points out he's an avowed enemy of the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac shareholders who are seeking to end the Obama administration's net worth sweep. This is a guy who's built a personal fortune of approximately $50 million since being elected to the Senate in 2006. And understand what's going on with the net worth sweep. I'll tell it to you again. What they're doing was after the 2008 mortgage meltdown, they took money out of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And that was supposed to be repaid to the investors, but they're stealing that money that should be going to the stockholders of those corporations, and they're using it to fund Obamacare because Obamacare is bankrupt. It's bankrupting the people who need health care. It is bankrupting the insurance companies, and it's not working for anyone. They have to take money out of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. A good example that Jerome Corsi has, and it's a very well documented, detailed article. He talks about how his net worth has danced around from 2006 and 2014. He did 83 amendments to his financial statements. Nobody really knew how much money this guy had. He's dancing around all this. Open Secrets is trying to get a handle on his net worth, and it ranges even from them from $45 million to $76.9 million. But he is one of the wealthiest members in the House. And one of the issues that he has in here, he talks about a typical pattern of insider trading. And he talks about Corker's trades in a company called CBL. He said he purchased between $2 and $10 million of stock in that company just prior to a July 2010 announcement that a Swiss headquartered UBS bank was upgrading that corporation's rating from sell to neutral. Less than a month later, Corker unloaded between $3 and $12 million of his stock just days before that same bank returned them to a sell. In the meantime, their price had leapt more than 35% per share. So it made him a ton of money. Where have we seen this before? Well, we saw it with Nancy Pelosi. They created the Stock Act because so many congressmen were doing insider trading, and they said, well, it's not illegal, maybe unethical, but it's not illegal, and we're not even prosecuting anybody in the House Ethics Committee for insider trading. This kind of stuff that he did, but especially what Donald Trump's appointment, Spencer Bacchus, his appointment that he wants to put into the Export-Import Bank, did far more than that. This is a guy who had the secret meeting. They said, put your cell phones aside. We don't want this to get out, September 18th, 2008. And then they told them that the entire stock market might lose half of its value. The very next day, he shorted the market, $50,000, made a fortune. This is the guy that Donald Trump wants to revive the Export-Import Bank. This is something that was shut down in 2015 because of the corruption, because of what they do. They had 2 spots that needed to be filled. The Senate refused to fill them. The Senate needs to refuse to put Spencer Bacchus in They need to refuse to continue the Export-Import Bank. It's something that Donald Trump ran against. It's something that he reversed himself on. Let me give you an example of how they take American taxpayer money and fund foreign state-owned corporations like Pemex. It's Mexico's state-owned oil company. It has nearly 40% of the government's annual revenue comes from Pemex. The Export-Import Bank of the United States supported that company, that Mexican government-owned company, with $8.5 billion in loans backed by American taxpayers. Another example, the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, one of the richest cities and states in the world. They were given loans to buy American planes. That gives them a competitive advantage over domestic airlines like Delta or American because they give them this to buy Boeing stock. That's crony capitalism. That needs to be stopped. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is one of the biggest secrets out there. The missing link of why our ancestors, whether you were in Africa or ancient Albion, which is England today, why our ancestors were so much stronger. I mean, there are huge archaeological reports, all sorts of anthropology studies, you can look them up for yourself, that show that humans, just an average farmer of 10,000 years ago in England, was stronger than Olympic athletes today. In the final equation, everyone knows our modern society has lost its vitality. The sperm counts are down like 90%. People are falling apart. They're totally depressed. They're unhappy. What is going on? Every ancient culture was obsessed with what I'm about to reveal to you. Today we call it bone broth, and for thousands of years our ancestors enjoyed its benefits before it became lost to our modern diets of processed junk. That's why I'm so excited to announce the product that is undoubtedly the jewel in the crown of InfoWars Life products. Caveman. We lost our vitality because we just ignored the ancient traditions. Everyone knew that you used all the parts of the animal. You used the skin to cover yourself or for shelter. You used the meat for sustenance, the fat for cooking, but you used the bones for strength. We are now introducing Caveman by InfoWarsLife.com, the ultimate in true paleo nutrition with bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, and 7 total primal superfoods in a single great tasting formula. The bone is so amazing. From the outside structure full of minerals and key cofactors to the marrow that produces the blood for the body. This is the engine of the life essence. I've made a lot of important points here, but this is the one you need to research for yourself because it's so key. High-quality bone broth helps support healthy muscles and connective tissue, while the active compounds in turmeric do battle on the cellular level and help fight free radicals. And collagen is essential to aid healthy tendons, ligaments, and muscle tissue. This is an absolute win-win. You get an amazing product produced right here in America. You support InfoWars and all we're doing to promote freedom and the restoration of our republic and promotion of freedom worldwide. The journey towards better health and giving our bodies these amazing compounds that God created starts at InfoWarsLife.com. 3 years in the making, incredible research, and the very best ingredients. I'm Alex Jones, and I may not be a caveman, but compared to these trendies out there in the street, I'm as close as it gets. Join me at InfoWarsLife.com and get your caveman formula today.